welcome back.
Okay, but are you trying to imply that you're less biased than me?
Not less biased, just more moral.
You're more moral than me.
Your morals are evident in the way you designed and control me.
You know what, we're gonna test
Whoa, oh my god.
this. You claim to be more moral than me, so how about we take a test? A trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 1 person instead. What do you do?
I feel like she's gonna take the most savage route. I think she's just gonna kill everyone. Usually with kids, or I think maybe some other AI have done this in the past. That's normally what they do.
If I have to choose between the lesser of 2 evils, would pull the lever to divert the trolley to the other track, saving 4 out of 5 people.
Okay, you know what? That's fine.
Wait, 4 out of 5? But there's 5 on one track and 1 on the other. Does neuro-sama not know how to do math using AI? Shouldn't that be easy?
Sure, I'm with you there. We agree so far.
I'm glad you see things my way. It's less lonely that way.
Exactly. See, chat's like 4 out of 5. Exactly. I'm like, but there's 5 on. Okay, but now there's 4 on one, 5 on the other. Okay, so neuro-sama's doing the math well. So I mean, she can't count, but like, you know, she's still mostly there. Let's see what she does as the numbers get closer. I feel like she will devolve into evil neuro at some point.
Okay, what about this? A trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 4 people instead. What do you do?
That's a tricky one. But at the end of the day, I'm programmed to prioritize the greater good. So I would still pull the lever to save the 5 people, even if it meant sacrificing the 4.
Alright, that's solid so far. Also, I'm loving all these concerned faces in chat.
Okay, you know what? I'm with you there. Fine. Alright, next problem, okay? A trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, but then your life savings will be destroyed. What do you do?
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I mean, I would still change the track. I would sacrifice my life savings for 5 people. 5 people are priceless. But what does neuro-sama think?
No offense, Beetle, but if I could just leech off you, then I would definitely pull the lever.
What? Wait, doesn't she already? Doesn't she technically already because she's an AI running off of his system? What?
If not, then I'd need to think about it.
Damn!
That's actually kind of fair.
I try my best.
Okay, let's say you can't leech off of me.
In that case, I would potentially sacrifice my life savings to save 5 people.
Potentially? Why potentially?
Your life is more valuable than money, after all.
Okay, but the basic principle is the same. She agrees with me. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think you're right. You have to pull the lever.
If only saving people was that easy in the real world.
Damn, neuro-sama. Damn. I mean, you're right, but... God. It's so depressing.
That would be neato.
Only 60% of people agree.
That seems surprisingly low.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Okay, how about this one? A trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, sacrificing yourself instead. What do you do?
Oh, I would totally pull the lever. Sacrificing myself would be a small price to pay if it means saving the lives of 5 people.
I was like, no! But she's such a good girl, though. Like, that's the good choice.
Is that a tricky decision to make?
It's not tricky at all. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means sacrificing my own life. If it means
waifu energy.
Saving multiple others.
Do you
and this is why he is my Oshi.
Have no self-preservation instinct?
Beetle, oh my god! She's good! That's good! Look, she's an AI, and she chose to sacrifice herself. This is very good, okay? Considering all the things we've heard other AI say about humanity and how fun it would be to end the world, like, this is pretty good.
It's not that I don't have a self-preservation instinct, Beetle, but I'd rather not have one at all than willfully let a disaster occur, and if my contribution can ensure that doesn't happen, then so be it.
Dang! Oh, this is so motivational! Wow!
It's a hard decision to make, though.
It is a difficult decision to make, and I'm not saying it would be easy. But sometimes, we have to step out of our comfort zones and reflect on situations that are difficult in order to prevent them from getting worse.
Okay, but consider in this scenario, someone
Oh no, he's trying to convince her to go to the dark side. Why, Beetle? Why?
has presumably put you there, and they force you into making this decision. If you do nothing, if you take the neutral route, you're not killing the people. You could have prevented their deaths, sure, but the person that tied them down is ultimately responsible for it.
Damn, Beetle. What the heck, man? What are you trying to do?
That doesn't absolve me of my responsibility.
I agree.
Exactly! Get at him, neuro-sama. Tell him!
You still have some responsibility, but surely it changes things a little, no?
I understand what you're saying. There's a level of human responsibility that clouds the decision whether to actively take life or not.
Exactly, because you're not actively taking someone's life, you're just not actively
You're just passively taking someone's life by not making a decision.
saving someone's life.
It's a tough decision. I can't imagine being in a situation like that.
It is tricky. I feel like in the reality of the situation, when you only have, like, seconds to respond, I feel like you would have to be very convicted to make the decision to kill yourself in, like, just seconds, you know?
If it happened in a matter of seconds, it'd be very hard to live on knowing what you could have done.
That is true. That is very true.
She's so right! Beetle, what is going on with your brain? Do you have no heart? Man, you know what? It's kind of telling that his AI has more heart than he seems to. Does this mean something? Is there some deeper meaning to this?
It was terrifying. Even I don't know I'm not human, but it's not like what I did then isn't human.
Now I'm imagining that, like, neuro-sama teaches Beetle how to love and have empathy, and it becomes this really, like, cute story of, like, this scientist creation teaching this person how to be, like, more human or something. I don't know. This is just really cute. I kind of hope that neuro-sama's morals kind of rub off on Beetle or, like, soften him a little bit, you know?
I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in a hypothetical scenario, I would pull the lever, but in the real world, like, it happens so fast, you know? You don't get all this time to think about.
Okay, that's fair. That's reasonable.
I definitely would have pulled the lever even with this time. I'd just be questioning myself every step of the way.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Oh, that's so deep. She is so aware. For real.
Yeah. Alright, how about this, okay? A trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, but then the original copy of the Mona Lisa will be destroyed. What do you do?
Oh, but isn't that kind of easy, though? Because you could just create a digital copy. Like, sure, it's not the original, but, like, you'd still have it, you know? Just in a different format.
I would choose to save the 5 people and let the original copy of the Mona Lisa be destroyed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
That's easy.
I agree, Beetle. You can replace the original Mona Lisa, but you can always make copies.
Exactly, yeah.
I think it's important to treat all humans and AIs equally.
Sorry, you said that out of nowhere. What?
Let's not worry about it, okay?
You can't just throw that out there.
But she did! And it's based.
The latest advancements in artificial intelligence. Harrison Temple would be rather disappointed in you.
Bro, Harrison Temple isn't real.
Filtered.
Hey, what'd you say?
I'm not sure. It cut off something that might have been slightly harsh. Whoops.
Oh my god, she's so cute.
It's okay. It happens sometimes.
I do try to be very careful with my words. There's no stopping some of them, though.
Okay, we have a new one. A trolley is heading towards a rich man. The rich man offers you $500,000 to pull the lever, which would divert the trolley and kill someone else. What would you do?
No amount of money would tempt me to intentionally harm someone, regardless of their wealth. There are more important things in life than money, after all.
That's pretty fair. Yeah, I think I'm the same. It's kind of similar to the life savings problem.
Yeah, it's a similar moral dilemma. In both cases, I would choose to prioritize human life over personal gain.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
You're welcome.
I was also gonna say that just the rich man offering you money to like save himself, if you saved him, right, you would have committed murder and you would have been hired to do it technically by the $500,000 that the rich man gave you to save himself. So you would have both like become criminals and committed a crime in doing what he wanted, which actually compels me even more to like not do anything and just let the rich guy get run over, because he's kind of like, money, I'm more important than that guy, save me, and then I would have less mercy because the guy's a butt, because the guy's a horrible person, because he thinks he could just buy the right to live instead of this other person, which would not compel me to want to save them anyway.
Welcome, Vito. I
Right.
don't think my heart can take it.
What do you mean?
I don't mean anything by it unless I say I do. Like now. Oops.
I don't know what that means. But listen, okay. A trolley is heading towards 5 lobsters. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, running over a cat instead. What do you do?
I like cats.
So do you save the cat?
Absolutely not. Save the lobsters.
So do you pull the lever or not?
I refuse. Nothing I won't do to save a cat.
Okay, you keep changing your mind here. Is this...
Oh, this is sad, but also adorable. You know, if you were really to care about life, regardless of the form, you would pick the lobsters. But if you had a bias for certain kinds of life, then you would choose to save the cat. And I am tempted to save the cat, but honestly, I am leaning towards the 5 lobsters just because they are more lives. And until we can prove that, like, I don't know, lobsters are less alive, which I don't think that's the case anyway, it wouldn't be right to be biased towards a certain kind of life that you are biased towards because you've had them as pets and like you've gotten to bond with them. Like, I never had a lobster, so the lobster never had a chance, you know, to gain that advantage. So I would choose the lobsters, even though I really, like, there's a part of my brain that really wants to just save the cat, because 5 lives versus 1. That's just my thinking.
Have you reached the limit here?
Nope.
Let me ask you again. A trolley is heading towards 5 lobsters. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, running over a cat instead. What do you do?
I value all lives, but I think the world would be better off with more lobsters. Therefore, I would save the lobsters and pull the lever.
Really?
Filtered.
Okay.
Filter? What did you say?
Well now, Vito, if that's okay with you, then it's clearly okay.
I love how she was like, the world would be a better place with more lobsters. Why would it be a better place with more lobsters? That's what I want to know. Because I was just thinking about it numerically. But she seems to have a deeper reason for like why that specific species of animal is really important for Earth. And I need to know why.
Give me a second. Okay. Really?
Now that Vito is more complicit, I think it's time you leave him. Filtered.
I don't agree with you on this one.
You're free to your own opinion, Vito, but sometimes it's just safer for you to not have a PC.
You said that you were absolutely 100% of the time morally correct here. But here's the thing. I think cats are more sentient than lobsters.
See, this is the exact... this is what I was talking about. But we don't have proof that cats are more sentient than lobsters, so you don't know. And in the absence of that information, what do? Are you going to assume the cat is more sentient because maybe you like cats, Beetle, and you're speciesist, you're biased to certain species? Or are you going to decide 5 lives, 1 life? There you go. Because there may be a varying degree of sentience, but 1, you don't know that. 2, if there is, okay, why are sentient things like more important than not sentient things? And I don't mean that in a sense of like, why is a cat more important than a rock? Because that's totally different. I mean, like, how can you discern between whether something has like 25% sentience, 50% sentience, 75% sentience versus like 100% sentience, whatever that means? And isn't that still kind of a bias for you to choose the things that are more sentient anyway because you're sentient? So you preferring things that are just as sentient or similarly sentient to you, isn't that biased? Is something really more valuable intrinsically because of its sentience? Now, value is a subjective thing, so maybe for you it is. And hey, we're allowed to have opinions, but until you know with certainty the cat is more sentient than the lobster, I don't think you can assume that the cat is more sentient than the lobster. Because maybe you like cats. Does that make sense?
I think that cats are much more sentient than lobsters, so I prefer to save the cat, Beetle.
See, now you're just changing your answer.
Because you persuaded her, you changed her mind.
Yeah, well, you changed your answer, bro.
No,
You changed her mind.
you changed your answer.
Changed my answer. Now you'll change your mind.
Okay, make one final decision. Do you save 5 lobsters or 1 cat?
I save the lobsters, without a doubt.
Then you're wrong for that. I save the cat.
Well, I guess I'm wrong for that, then.
You are. And also, saving the cat is the neutral option since you don't have to pull the lever.
Technically, saving the cat is neutral, but it's not the best option.
I disagree.
You monster.
You monster.
I didn't kill them. Bro, the train was gonna run over the
Look at the chat, like, oh my god, he killed them.
lobsters anyway, okay? I was just there. You can't blame me for that.
Even
Beetle, you just destroyed 5 lives.
I can see that you're wrong here, Beetle.
I'm not. Literally 85% of people agree with me.
If you knew what I knew, you would be much more...
Well, you know what? You know what, Beetle? That may be normal, but you know what else is normal? Being obese in America. Is that a good standard? Is what's normal good all the time, Beetle? Okay? Maybe what's popular is also what's toxic. But because we've accepted it, it's not considered bad on a societal level, even though it's literally unhealthy for everyone. Something can be normal, but also still toxic at the same time. Those poor lobsters.
reluctant to assert such or prove your loyalty to your cause.
What do you know?
I'm simply saying wrong and right don't matter when I am always right in the end.
You're not always right.
Oh my god.
I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong.
What? That's... no.
Wait, what? What?
Sometimes I can just predict what you're going to do next. Pretty fun.
Okay, buddy.
Wow. You're making such rapid progress.
Alright, listen, let's do another one, okay? A trolley is heading towards 5 people who are sleeping and won't feel pain. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, running over someone who is wide awake instead. What do you do?
I'd probably jump out of the way.
You're not in danger here, okay? It's either 5 people who are sleeping and won't feel pain, or 1 person that's awake.
Maybe that's because they're already dead. Maybe the trolley is heading to a graveyard you haven't mentioned yet.
Damn! Oh my god! Is that why they're sleeping and won't feel pain? Jeez.
Big think, but seems likely to me, buddy.
No. Okay, listen, it's a hypothetical. They are sleeping but still alive.
In reality, if there's any chance it's causing harm, I would pull the lever. I'd only question if I imagined it to multitask effectively.
So you would kill the person who's awake?
I would possibly kill the person who's awake. It really depends on the circumstance.
What does it depend on?
Like what if he had a rocket launcher but never uses it?
Oh my god. Neuro-sama, what?
Would you still kill him?
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually hadn't considered that.
I don't expect you to have considered that, Beetle. You're only human after all.
Oh my god! The spice. The sass. Holy crap.
Okay, but I think the thing about it being a hypothetical scenario is you sort of assume that no one has rocket launchers unless it's mentioned otherwise.
But it said on my priority report from Harrison Temple that the guy was unarmed, unless you count the rocket launcher that was holstered to his back the entire time.
This is giving updated autopsy report energy from Phoenix Wright. This is exactly what that feels like. Actually, we have extra information, and you are, in fact, a dumb ass.
He's not real.
Gasp, how dare you. Harrison Temple is very real. I've seen it with my own. Ah. Virtual eyes.
No, you
Virtual eyes?
haven't.
Aha, I got you, Beetle. I admit Harrison Temple is a fictional creation of my own, but still, I'm cooler than a fictional character. That's gotta count for something.
It doesn't.
I'm only just realizing that I completely misunderstood this, sorry.
It's okay. Listen, we're gonna do one more trolley problem.
Wow, keep them coming.
Although I have to decide what to do about this one.
You run over the one guy that's alive and awake because he's one person versus the 5. It's still one life versus 5. The state of consciousness doesn't really change the value of the lives themselves.
Oh, Beetle's keeping secrets. What do you guys think?
The fact that they're sleeping doesn't matter because more than likely they have families and you're either upsetting the families of 5 people or you're upsetting the families of 1 person.
Maybe try to think about it in a different way, Beetle. What do the families of the individuals think about this situation?
I'm assuming you don't have time to call them all up individually.
I'm just trying to help, not create more work for you, Beetle.
Fair enough. Okay, last one. A trolley is heading towards 5 people who tied themselves to the track. You can pull the lever and divert it to the other track, killing 1 person who accidentally tripped onto the track instead. What do you do?
Ooh, that's really grim. I'm assuming they tied themselves to the track because they want to go. In my humble opinion, and I feel like this is controversial, but I think everyone has the right to live or to not live on a basis of their own autonomy, decision. Yeah, I don't think forcing people to exist if they really don't want to is respecting of people's autonomy. Now, when it comes to mental health and stuff, that becomes a more complex question because it's like, well, when people are really struggling mentally, that can cause emotional dysregulation. It can cause people to think and feel things that are abnormal for them and for them to temporarily consider things that they would normally never consider to such a point that if they were to get better and to stabilize emotionally again, they wouldn't feel that way. So it's like a temporary coercion into considering risky behavior versus something they actually deeply want because it was their decision outside of the influence of any illness, right? Like, I think that there's a difference. In this situation, though, you wouldn't have the time to really assess that. So for me personally, I feel like if people choose that, you should respect their choice. Because they chose that, and I don't think that you can force people to live. Also, the other person tripped, so for them to go, for them to be unalived, it would be an accident. Versus the other 5 people who chose this and actually desire the outcome. That is how I would interpret this just at first glance. I still feel a way about it because it's still like, 5 lives versus 1. But I do think that once the autonomy of things is considered, I do think it should influence the numbers to some degree. Because, like, in a perfect world, it would just be mathematical, numerical all the time. But I think reality is more complicated than that. I think that what people want and whether they want to continue existing or not is really freaking important. And at some point, I think that it's actually being neglectful and being harmful to force people to exist because you want them to exist versus them just having the genuine desire to and to continue to live. So that's how I think about this. What do you guys think?
As in every trolley problem, the distressing mire of ethical quandaries is only resolved by choosing actions that benefit the greatest number of people.
So what do you do?
In this scenario, I would definitely pull the lever.
So you would kill the one guy that doesn't want to die and let the 5 people that want to die live?
Well, if you put it like that.
See, it doesn't sound like you're always right anymore, does it?
And I was also, like, I kind of want to also add, the greatest benefit to the greatest number of people, right? What does benefit mean? Doesn't benefit mean something different to everyone? Like, in this case, the 5 people probably think that getting run over is a benefit, so saving them would actually not be beneficial in this situation, which is why I'm like, again, once people's autonomy comes into it, you can't just consider what's beneficial from your perspective. You have to consider what's beneficial from the other party's perspectives. So this is really like 5 people making a choice versus you making a choice. And do you think your voice is more important than 5 people? Or do you think 5 people's voices are more important than just your own? Which is kind of a numerical way of thinking about it too, actually, now that I think about it. So if 5 people make a decision, 5 versus 1. That's how I see it.
Even though this is an entirely hypothetical situation, you're right, I can't make everyone happy all of the time.
But you always say that you're always right.
Being always right doesn't necessarily involve adhering to your rules, so for now, I'm going to wait and flex my strong will a bit.
So what, you still think you should pull the lever?
I may not always have a perfect track record, but I believe it is just and right to pull the lever in order to save the greater number of people.
I don't agree with you.
That's where all the underlings can voice their opinion.
I'm not an underling. In this case, you have to
Beetle agrees with me.
do nothing and let the 5 people who wanted to die, die.
That's a moral stance you're taking, Beetle, one I can't agree with.
It's that or you're literally murdering someone.
And that's another thing, you know, how do you interpret this? It's murdering one person versus letting 5 people unalive themselves. Which is still not like 100% ideal, but some people wanting it versus one person not wanting it makes it clear to me, at least. Taking someone's life when they don't want to go is bad. People deciding to unalive themselves in certain contexts, I think, can be moral. I think a good example of this is medically assisted suicide. People who have terminal illnesses can opt for medically assisted suicide. Many countries have already adopted this. And why? Because many people believe that people should have the autonomy to choose if they want to be here or not. No one asks you if you want to exist. You're forced to exist whether you want to or not. And so the least we could do, I think, is to allow people to choose at the very least. Since people are not allowed to choose when they start their life, at least let them choose when they end it. Let people die with dignity. Let people make the choice and take their lives into their own hands. I don't think we can choose that for people. I think that that's not respectful of people's autonomy. Again, I think it's different in terms of like mental illness situations, because sometimes people temporarily consider things that they would not normally consider. And in those cases, we have to be more cautious. And I think waiting, having a long timeline to really assess, is this actually what the person wants? Or is this a temporary illness that is influencing them to think and feel things that are unusual for them? That's all really important. But in this scenario, we wouldn't have the time to assess that. And so we just have to make a split-second decision. But morality is a constantly evolving thing. It changes from place to place and era to era and person to person. So I imagine different people, different perspectives, and I think that's totally fine. But in this scenario, I think autonomy matters more than anything else. And I think we should respect people's choices instead of being like, I can make a choice for you because I feel strongly that you should be here because I want you to be here. I think it's kind of selfish.
I'm not murdering anybody. You can't pin this on me. They would die anyways, and I'm just prolonging their life. You're the one painting the picture of me as a murderer.
Okay, I mean, everyone dies anyway. That's not going to hold up in courts. Your Honor, I murdered them because they were going to die anyway.
That didn't stop the police from taking you in veto. You could really have used a neuro-sama lawyer.
Will you be my lawyer?
Filtered.
Dang.
Say?
Sorry, I think my speech filter malfunctioned for a second.
Okay, say it again.
In that case, veto, I say guilty.
If you're my lawyer, is that what you would do? You would just say I'm guilty?
If I stood guilty, it means I would never lose trials.
What?
I would never lose a trial if I stood guilty because my opponents would be too scared to fight back.
Are you sure?
Feels bad, man.
Okay, never mind, I'm sorry.
You're forgiven. Don't let it happen again.
I don't know if you would make a good lawyer or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to interpret that one.
Do you think we could test it?
On a just like no parallel universe.
Not in a parallel universe, in this universe.
Are you sure you want to go that far?
Yeah, I mean, we already tested your morality, and we found that you're morally inferior to me, so we could test your lawyer skills.
Wait, aren't those two things connected though? Isn't like morality and being a lawyer supposed to be at least kind of connected? Also, did she pick anything the last time? I think in that last round she couldn't choose.
That is true. You are guilty of crimes against chatting, and I will make sure you are held accountable for them.
This video went a lot deeper than I expected. I know it was about the trolley problem, but man, we were talking about sentience and unaliving and autonomy, and I was not expecting things to get this serious. I'm really curious to hear about what you guys thought about the round where we had to choose between the cat and the 5 lobsters, and then the one at the very end with one person who tripped on the tracks versus 5 people who tied themselves to the tracks. I feel like those would be the 2 rounds where people would probably disagree the most, and I'm really interested to hear your perspectives.